Welcome back to Geocaching World. I'm Dave Dufour here at RVNN TV, and we have Eric Shadisky from Geocaching.com and Groundspeak, and of course, as always, Andy Head Hard Hat Smith. Really glad to have you here with us today, Eric. This is just a real honor, and we wanted to talk to you because you've got some interesting stuff happening at Geocaching.com, and one of them is the new challenges caches or what are you calling them?
Geocaching challenges. It's that easy.
Geocaching challenges. And so before we get into that, let's take a look at this little promo video. Okay, so this is very cool. The challenges are briefly. What can you tell us about what the challenges are? It's a little bit like the virtuals, or is it, or not at all like the virtuals?
Well, I think it shares a lot of similarities with the virtuals. It's really the next evolution in geocaching. Geocaching traditionally is a location where there is a physical container. This removes the physical container, keeps the location for the most part, and allows people to get to these amazing places where maybe geocaches traditionally have not been allowed, or to locations where they have these great opportunities to, in this case, our first iteration of this will involve photos and action, where they're able to perform some feat or take some amazingly creative photo and really explore the world in that way, as opposed to finding a traditional cache. So we're taking part of the geocaching puzzle, we're mixing it around a little bit and adding in a new way to explore.
Cool. How sensitive? How much of this is a sensitivity to and we hear a lot. We've heard a lot about this. The quote oversaturation issue in geocaching. How much is it really trying to deal with that issue specifically, or is it really not as big a part of it?
I don't know if that's necessarily a big part. I think we had a lot of geocachers who wanted a way to express themselves that didn't necessarily involve a cache in a location, but as you mentioned, virtuals before, something that would still draw someone to a location. In this case, we're using challenges, either photo or action challenges.
Right.
That will take them to this location. But as far as a saturation issue, which we are seeing, that wasn't necessarily part of the formula for this, but it will allow people in those saturated areas to play geocaching at a much higher level.
Right, and it sounds like that it's fairly photographically oriented.
Right now, there will be more, but right now we're launching with two. You saw them in that promo. So two different types of geocaching challenges. The first is photo. So go to a location and take a photo. That could be, there's a frame right here that's an artistic frame with nothing behind it here in Seattle. So one of the examples could be to put your head in the frame and take a picture of yourself there. So it involves location and a photo. That would be a photo challenge. And then next would be an action challenge. For example, you saw that there was a bike that went down a road in the promo that you just saw a little bit.
That looked a little bit like the Lombard Street in San Francisco to me.
Yeah, exactly like that. So that was the model that we used for that. So it would be to go to that location and ride your bike down that street. And then you'd be able to, once you completed the task, be able to log it and claim your smiley.
You would have to you'd have to claim a medal for bravery driving your bicycle down Lombard Street. Go ahead, Andy.
No, the question I had for Eric was, I think a lot of times when people think of virtual geocaches, because it's cashless, there isn't a physical container there, they're a little more better for areas that could be possibly sensitive to where a container would not be appropriate. Do you think that these new type of challenges will also kind of fill in that gap that geocachers are looking for?
Yeah, we've seen that a lot where the geocaching world definitely has boundaries. So when we introduce geocaching challenges here later this week, we're hoping to eliminate a lot of those boundaries and allow people to experience geocaching in places that they've never been able to do that before through either action or photo challenges. So this is definitely an opportunity, Andy, as you mentioned, to break down some of these barriers and really to be able to experience geocaching almost anywhere that you can go through a photo or through an action, and be able to really expand your geocaching world, and also think in really a different way about geocaching as well, that not necessarily is there a cache container involved, but there is an experience involved and there's a location involved, and you want to take someone there. Sometimes it just happens to be across a line where traditional geocaching isn't allowed.
Yeah, and I think that the key word you kept kind of throwing out there is experience. This is about the experience and less about items to find. More about learning and experiencing.
Yeah, and I think it's meant to be a little bit whimsical too. So we'll have some worldwide challenges that we'll be offering through Groundspeak here that will allow people around the world to unite in these challenges. And one of the fun parts about this process too is that the people who will see the challenges and look at who's completed them will be able to weigh in on whether they think that person completed a good challenge or didn't necessarily complete the challenge all that well, especially in a photo challenge. So there'll be a lot of interplay and a lot of interactivity, which I think geocachers are just used to doing and really enjoy doing. That's one of the reasons that geocaching is such a worldwide phenomenon, is there's such a great community around geocaching. Yeah. I think what we're going to see here with geocaching challenges will only enhance that.
We have a question from the chat room here. Well, just a couple of questions. One of them, Eric, is it hoped, and I'm not quite sure, maybe you'll catch the meaning of this better than I will. Is it hoped that this will reduce the number of unknown caches that are published as challenges? Does that make sense?
You know what? That doesn't make if you can ask the person to expand a little bit.
Expand on that question just a little bit. Also, another one, will they be able, for instance, they could do possibly memorials as a photo challenge?
There's peer review to some extent, but right now, a photo challenge is a photo challenge. So we want people to be as creative as possible when they offer these, and people to express themselves and experience the world around them, and challenge, as the name implies, others to really find this location and complete either the photo or the action challenge. So right now, as everything's in evolution, we're hope as much as on the table as that can be.
Yes, and it all will be revealed on Friday.
Later this week.
Later this week.
For something late this week.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Well, we're going to take a little break here, and when we come back, we're going to have another prize, and we're going to talk about Eric's geocaching adventures in Europe. So stay with us on Geocaching World. Got a question or a comment about geocaching? Send it to geocache@rbnn.tv or leave us a voicemail at 877-578-RBNN, extension 714. Tell us about a cache you especially enjoyed finding, and we may feature it in an upcoming episode. Follow RV Newsnet on Facebook and Twitter, and you can receive text messages to alert you when we're streaming live by texting RVNN to 72727. That way, you can join us live in the chat room, ask questions, and become part of the RV Newsnet family. Remember, any photos or other material submitted to us become the property of RV Newsnet and cannot be returned. For more TV like this from the world of RVs, head to rvnn.tv.